Hi, everybody. Welcome to A Kiss for Luck. I'm Steve.
I'm Charisse.
And our third side of the pyramid, third leg of the stool, Northern California's Mike Crutchfield. How are you, Mike?
Doing well. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay, that sounds great. And our guest, once again, we have from Victor Racing Stables and a Santa Anita stalwart, Chris Victor. How are you, Chris?
Doing well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me again.
Excellent, excellent. Glad to have you. Pretty big special day here in our lives just occurred. We've been off for a little bit, and what do you have there, Charisse?
Have a pony rattle.
That's very
It's for our
nice.
little Madeline May Murphy that was born Saturday, February 21st, 5 days ago. Our daughter Ashley and son-in-law Zach. They have a beautiful baby girl. And Mike, I know you will appreciate this. And Chris, I'm guessing your wife did the same thing. So we have one onesie here because I know Ashley will supply us with plenty when we take care of her. But see what it is? Horses.
Oh
Horses,
yeah,
beautiful.
love it.
And it's
Very
pink.
nice, very nice. Yeah.
Yes. She's a beautiful girl, 7 pounds, 11 ounces, 20 inches, and flourishing already. So they're home. Everybody's great and getting into their mode.
That's
Very
awesome. And
Fantastic.
all the things that Mike told us about are correct. And let's have a toast to Maddie
Maddie
Murphy.
May. And I even
Way
have
to
my
go, Maddie
pink,
May.
Congratulations.
thank you,
Congratulations.
my
Thank
pink
you.
ice cubes in here. Woohoo.
Nice. Yeah, she's a sweetheart, and we can hardly wait to enjoy many years with her. So uh, fantastic. Well, Mike, you've been on a bit of a heater today, haven't you?
Ah,
Yeah, I mean the last 2 or 3 weeks I've, you know, um, done really, really well and, put, some money, in the kitty. So, it's just always fun when you're playing off of their money.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, what are you going to give us today?
So I'm gonna give out the late pick five for Friday. It's $108 ticket, and I feel really good about the ticket, and I think it could actually pay something. So
Okay, and we're
um,
talking Santa Anita, right?
yeah, Santa Anita,
Okay.
and it starts in the fifth race, and the fifth race is a California bred mile on the turf race, and I'm gonna use four horses here, and I'm gonna use the number two. Um, is it Maya Kama?
Mayakama.
Maya Kama. I'm gonna use
Yeah.
Maya Kama.
Yep.
I'm gonna use the number seven. She's a Joker,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna use the number eight, Lady Mendelssohn. And my top selection is a price, and you guys know I love prices at 12 to 1. Um, Pavel's
trois.
Atoli,
A trois.
Yeah.
Atois.
A
So I'm
trois.
gonna,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna use that one as my top choice
Okay. Very
at
nice,
12 to
sir.
1.
Love it.
Okay.
Alrighty.
The sixth race, I'm gonna use two horses. I can't, separate. I'm gonna use the number four, and I'm gonna use the number three in the sixth race.
Hmm.
Tiger Fire and Mani.
Yep.
Okay.
Many.
Who's your
Yeah.
top pick there, Mike?
I can't separate them. They're,
No.
if I
Okay.
if you put my foot to the fire, um, I would probably go with the four.
Okay.
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 Excellent. 3, 4.
Yeah, and in the seventh race, I have my best bet of the day at 5 to 1, um, and it's the number five, Datari. I'm gonna play that horse until they tell me I can't play him no more. I like that Sadler does well with these types, and I like that it's Hirana's racing stable. He doesn't mess around with them, so they're going to really be trying. So that's going to be my best bet. But I am going to use the number six, Cuban Confusion. and the number 10, Son of a Birch.
Okay. That's son of a birch. They got away with that one past the Jockey Club.
Yes,
Good job.
yes, and I was very careful because I don't curse, so I was very, very careful saying that,
Okay.
So, okay. So the number 8 is a really interesting race to me. And you got two horses that are running on the turf for the first time. And one of the horses that is running on the turf for the first time is Winston Ave for Bob Baffert. I like that horse. Adds Lasix. I know it's 9 to 5, but that's going to be my best. That's going to be my my top choice, and I'm going to use the 1-3-2 in that race.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3 there.
Yep.
Okie doke.
Yeah. And number 2, in the ninth race, I'm going to use a horse that I really, really like. And this horse, again, it's another Bob Baffert horse, and it has Giroux on him again. But I've made a lot of money at the racetrack playing Curlin Smart Strike, one of the best turf sires ever. Curlin out of Smart Strike, I love that. So that's going to be my top choice at 6 to 1, and I'm also going to use the number 7 and 4, and then I'm going to do a $3 exacta bots 247.
Okay. 2, 4, 7. All righty. How much does that add up to, Mike?
$108 ticket.
108. Okay. Fantastic.
Okay, Mike, can I ask you a question on that? Because you know how I struggle with Baffert horses.
Yep.
Nezha, number 2 in the ninth race.
Mm-hmm.
So, the horse just spit the bit last time on the
Mm-hmm.
grass at a mile.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Baffert sees fit. Obviously, it's a homebred for Bauma.
Yep.
His owners. Drops him to 50, but even since his race, his workouts are not Baffert-ish at all. I'm torn
Yep.
between using that horse. I don't know. What do you? That's your top pick.
Yeah, I'm going to give the horse a second chance
Okay.
because when you drop from straight maiden, and
Right.
you guys all know this, Chris knows this as well. That's a big drop from straight maiden to 50 to 50, maidens, and he's adding Lasix.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay.
And the horse is so two things: the horse is dropping and adding laces,
Mm-hmm.
Lasix, and I think the horse can improve.
Okay.
And again, if the horse at 6 to 1, I'm going to take a shot.
Okay.
And again, using the 4 and the 7, I think it's going to get me out of the race. And I was between the 2 and the 7 because I really like the 7 because the 7's doing the exact same thing, dropping out of those tough maiden special weight races.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not only dropping the 7, but he's shortening up in distance. And I think this horse is going to be closer to the pace and is going to sprint home with him.
Okay. All right.
Well, why don't we go to you, Charisse, because I know you're overlapping a little bit on what Mike just did. So why don't you move your thumb and
Okay, you know what? I'm using my phone for our Zoom, and that was our vet that just called on the other line. Let me get back into Zoom. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry, guys.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right.
Welcome back, Charisse. Welcome back. We'll cut that part out. All right. Okay. So Charisse, we have some overlapping there with Mike and your picks, I believe. So why don't we go to you before we go to Chris? What do you got for us, dear?
Well, I'm gonna do a $12 late pick 3 at Santa Anita. So I'm going
that's
$4
increment, right?
Yeah, I'm going 4 by single. And In the seventh race, let's start. Okay.
Is this Friday's card,
I'm
Charisse?
sorry. Yes, this is Friday's
Okay.
too. We're all
Okay.
overlapping each other.
Okay.
2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to use the 2. Um, basically because Kyle Frey was riding the 3 consistently and opts for the 2 with Jeff Mullins. So I'm going to use the 2. Proofy rides. One of my 2 top picks of price is the number 3. Drop them. And I know, Chris, we talked about this a little bit. This horse has done really well in Calbred ungraded, the wine's getting to me, ungraded stakes. He switches to Tyler Bays, and Tyler Bays has been doing pretty well so far this year. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to use him at 20 to 1. I'm going to use the 3, drop him. I'm also going to use the 6, Cuban Confusion. I don't really know why. But I am going to throw him in. And my other price, which Chris made me aware of, may not be that good of a choice, but I'm going to use him anyway. The 7, FOMO Joe. Escobedo comes out. Of course, there's no night racing Friday at Los Al, so he's riding for Ryan Hansen. First time gelding, and he puts the blinkers on. Taking a shot, coming out of a ungraded stakes on the grass. And what the heck? So we've got 4 there. I am in the 8th race. I struggled so much with doubling the ticket and using both Baffert horses, but I'm going to use the 3 only. Cherokee Nation, my boy Jaramillo in the irons, and I'm hoping he can get in with the Baffert barn consistently. But Cherokee Nation is going to be my single in that race, number 3. In the last race, oh boy, I did it again. I threw out Baffert on the 2, and I singled with the 4. Biggie. Jaramillo, Doug O'Neill. That's it. That's a $12 ticket.
Okay, sounds good to me. So we got 2, 3, 6, 7 with 3 with 4, $12 because that's a $3 base wager. Why don't we go to you,
I'll play
Chris?
that
Because
twice.
I think you're going to be right in there too. Yeah, how many times are you going to play that, Mike?
Well, actually, I'm going to play it 3 times. So I'll play it for $36.
Okay.
There you go. Here we are.
You know, I'm
If
gonna
it hits,
jump
you're
around a
in
little
good
bit,
shape.
but we'll definitely go back to race 7. We were just talking right now with Charisse about that. There's a horse in here that I've really liked when I was going through the form, and I liked him for a couple different reasons. And we're talking about Mischief River here, the 8 horse. And this horse to me just, if you cross, I use a lot of red lines in my form just so I don't look at those races and kind of toss them out. And I did that with the last 2 starts of this horse, the November 8th and the October 9th races. Just kind of over his head in the optional 125, non-winners of 2, and the Keeneland, the good turf sprint. I just don't think he liked the turf that day and didn't like running on that soft turf. But going back to the Kentucky Downs race, September 10th, that was a nice race because this horse had to run against older, and it was 3-year-olds and up, and just broke from the gate and never stopped. And for those that don't really know it, Kentucky Downs, you got to run uphill for the last few hundred yards, and that's not an easy task to do, especially if you've been on the lead. And this horse just kept at it, kept at the task, and kept going. And for me, the first time gelding with the Lasix on, this horse was bred by Pam and Martin Wygod, which are supreme breeders, and they've always done very, very well. But they bring this horse here. They got Cesar Ortega on him as well. And I love the January 30th work, 5 and 59 and 3 at Los Al. Can't argue again at the fourth, excuse me, 4 furlong and 4 and 47. And I just think that February 22nd is just a maintenance drill just to get him out, keep his legs fresh. But with that price, I think we were talking about it earlier, 10 to 1 is definitely worth, keeping that horse on your ticket in any verticals or horizontals that you might be playing. But I know, Mike, you gave out a couple horses, and I was putting together a ticket. Mine was 36 with the late pick 5. Using that horse and singling Cherokee Nation with you, Charisse. I think that's a
Oh,
great single.
nice.
That's
Okay.
one of my more horses that I like just to single. And because, yeah, you're getting Jaramillo there. And I think that, no knock against Winston Ave. I think that he's going to need this race to kind of get again into some pattern or some
Mhm.
form. They are, protecting the horse again and putting him and giving him that extra, chance to prove himself, right? And I'm going to make sure that he does prove himself before I go chase him. But I think that Cherokee Nation for me was the most logical single in the sequence, and yeah, no, that was something that I really liked. In the last race, race nine, um, I'm with you with Biggie Charisse. I really think that horse is going to be the one to beat. But I also think the major contender in there is going to be the 10 horse Kingman. And
Yes.
this horse is run against Conducted, Brigante, Plutarch. Those are all some very big horses, big names. And,
Yeah.
um, you're getting the jockey change from William Pyle to Edwin Maldonado. And I just like the outside post a ton too. Um, when I look back at this October 30th race in the maiden special weight where he finished third by 1 3/4, he really ran a great race. He kept trying and was willing to keep going. Brigante was just obviously much the best that day, beating everybody with the quarter length and a quarter. So I look at those kind of those sequences, and I'm going to try and build a decent pick six with some partners of mine. Trying to keep it reasonable, but reasonable 144 is my reasonable. I think that's kind of where I would lay in there,
Yeah,
but
that's reasonable.
Yep.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
we definitely
And
going to try.
Chris, that's the thing too. I when I look at these races and when you talk about, because trying to play a budget ticket, I just learned the hard way that, especially when I'm doing well like I'm doing now, probably my the most I'm going to play is about $144 ticket, but how many times have we said, man, if I had added this one horse.
Yeah, and I think
Yep.
as a player, that's probably the most frustrating thing is, you
Yeah,
get so far down the line, you're like, dang, I wish I could have added that horse, but then you
yeah,
balloon the ticket to, 288 or,
yeah,
340. It's just it gets to such a large number so quickly, and I think that's why, the game is such a challenge. But having an opinion is something I've always been very strong about, and
sure.
I'm gonna lean with the opinion, and I'll say it if you get beat, you get beat. It's kind of the thing that you kind of have to deal with. But I've seen it over the last 2 weeks with a buddy of mine that I play with, and he's got this great talent. He'll throw a horse out, and that'll be the horse that wins.
Yeah.
That's what I tell him. I said, "Tell me who you're throwing out because I'm going to play a separate ticket, and I'm going to make sure I add those right." And it's funny because it's literally almost every time that I think that we throw a horse out, that's the horse that beats us. Or
Hmm.
and I don't know why that is, and maybe that's just kind of the
Yeah.
pattern of the luck of the draw. But last year when I hit for my pick six, it was $144, and I did what you actually just said, Mike. I could have singled in a race that I went too deep in, and I didn't need to go too deep because the single I would have played hit, and I could have cut down to the smaller amount, but
Yep.
being able to kind of set that budget and manage it, and then also playing a pick five to cover yourself, I think is super important that people, they want to attack the pick six with that huge carryover, $198,000
Mhm.
that, they're trying to muscle it there to get there, but go back and hedge with the pick five and throw, throw those extra horses in and even if you can get tighter in a race and spread other races where if you think that you can do it to kind of hedge yourself against your other single. I do that a lot where I'll single in one ticket and make sure I can spread a little bit in the other ticket. And then the $3 late pick three is such a great play. I don't think enough players take advantage of that because
Yep.
uh, when I look at those, it really comes down to looking at the daily double at the beginning, seeing where those kind of lay, right? And then building those tickets to kind of leverage the daily double going into that race, if that makes sense. So
Mhm.
I agree.
um, if I can find a decent price with the horses that I like, I already know that that pick three is going to pay 4 or 5 times what that double is going to pay because of
Yep.
the $3 increment, right? And then
Yep.
again, in the late daily double, most people forget now that it's $5. But again,
Uh,
the advantage is if you can go and look at the will pays or the probables, you can build and cover yourself for a lot of these tickets for less than obviously for an example, you play a $25 ticket. If the double's going to pay 60, 70, $80, you have the ability now to kind of protect and hedge against your pick threes and use another couple of horses that you probably wouldn't use or obviously don't have because you're locked into it. But you're able to look at those numbers and basically project, hey, you know what? If I miss, this is the horse I'm worried about because it's paying lower in the will pay, right? If you look
Hmm.
at will pays, it's a very strategic mathematical play for me where it's like, okay, I missed the three horse. He's the third lowest in the will pays. I'm gonna throw him in a double, or I'll throw him in the pick three, whichever kind of how that lays out. I think that we kind of are tired later in the day. We don't really want to go
Hmm.
into all those things, and
Sure.
we've had a rough day already. I think it's even more so, and it's more imperative to go back and look at those numbers because you can get a more clear snapshot of where that money's flowing, right? I'm not always right. No one's always right. And I think that there's some plays in there that, you're not going to see, but that's how I protect myself or insulate myself with later in the day, especially if I've had a bad day or a rough day. I kind of go into that pattern of saying, okay, who's in the double, who's alive, who's in the will pays, where did I miss? If we can
Yep.
add a couple horses and done really, really well doing that, where a lot of these horses that go off at higher prices, if you look at the will pays, they should have never been that price. And
Right.
it's just weird, that I feel like most people don't go and do that. Again, they're tired, they don't want to go and actually put that
Hmm.
time in, but
Hmm.
that's kind of where you have to, and you can protect yourself a lot of the ways. But uh,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They call it a get out race for a reason, you know? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
you
And
But-
know,
Steve, you like to play those $3. Actually, I started playing them because you recommended a while ago that I
yeah,
look at them.
yeah,
And for an example, last Friday at Oakland, there was a 1 to 9 shot,
right.
okay, that I singled. And
Mhm.
then I had two 5 to 1 shots, and I played a $10 pick three, and it paid
Yeah.
$1,300.
oh my
There you
gosh.
go. There you
The
go.
ticket is on. I mean, you got a copy of the ticket. Pay $1,300.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. And the thing, this is what somebody told me also, and you mentioned it, Chris, the late pick $3 is the way to go. Don't do the turf pick threes or the ones where it skips around because people
Hmm.
don't, they get confused with that stuff. If you can get the one that just is like a late pick $3 increment, it scares a lot of the kiddies out of the pool. And you got to really, you can really, if you make a statement on some of the tickets and single, and it's okay to single a favorite in that late
Hmm.
pick three,
Yeah,
Hmm.
not a problem at all. If you single a
definitely.
favorite, I mean, I had one, I think, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago, it paid $140, and I had a favorite. It was an 8 to 5, 5 to 2, and a 2 to 1, and it paid $140 for a $3 base wager. It's like, what is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing.
oh,
Ridiculous, ridiculous. I mean, it was favorite, second favorite, and it paid $140 for the sequence. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one. I am what I'm going to do next. I'm going to Gulfstream Saturday because that's a big day there. 8 stakes races at Gulfstream on Saturday. I mean, that's insane. But I'm going to focus on the late pick four. You could make this a late pick three as well if you want to, but they don't do the $3 pick three there. But you can play for $3. Why not? But I'm going to go with the late pick four. It's in the 11th race. I mean, they're going until it gets dark there. They're as soon as the sun comes up, they're starting and they're finishing late. So the 11th race is the Devona Dale. It's a great true two one turn mile, which is kind of an interesting race. I'm just going to go with the favorite on this one because the favorite on time girl, the number 9 horse, is Brad Cox, Rad Ortiz on this horse. Rad's won 4 out of 5 times on this horse and 1 for 1 at Gulfstream. It's never run a mile, but it's run 7 furlongs at Gulfstream. So all you're doing, the only difference is you're starting further down the chute for the one turn mile, which
mhm.
isn't a big deal. And that was a grade three, the forward gal. And he won that thing by 3 lengths January 31st. I think he's going to come back and win the Devon Dale. I think the horse is a beautiful horse, and they bred it. It's Albaugh family stables. They bred it for 250,000, and not this time. The that horse seems to be throwing some pretty good ones. I got to tell you.
Oh
So
yeah.
so we're going to single the 9 in the first leg. Second leg, the Honey Fox is a grade three on the turf, 1 mile, and I'm going to spread here. I think I can get a price. I'm going to go. I'm going pretty deep, so I'm going to go the one Silver Moonlight, Pratt and Safi Joseph. Say no more. But at 15 to 1, you can't let Pratt and Safi Joseph Goff at 15-1. You got to put that horse in. I mean, I don't even care. I don't even need to look at the running lines, but it is a pretty good horse, and it's won here. Two of the last three races it's run at Gulfstream has won. So Super Zonda, the number two horse with Castellano on board with Mark Casse, you got to always consider Mark Casse when he's running at Gulfstream Park. And by the way, all these horses I'm putting in here have very similar mile times at Gulfstream Park. And I look back at the PPs; they're all about 133 and change milers. So I don't understand why you would not put a 133 miler and not another 133 miler. Put them all because who knows who's going to leap up and win this time. So I've got the 6 3-1 moving on up. That's another Safi Joseph with Luis Saez. The 9 is going to be the favorite. Brendan Walsh and Tyler Gaffleone. Brendan Walsh seems like every time a big race comes up, he's winning it. I'm hoping I can beat him here, but Lush Lips is 2-1, and the 10, Crevalle de Oro, and that's a 5-2 horse. Jose D'Angelo and one of the Ortiz brothers are rad in that case. So we're spreading pretty deep in that one. The 13th race, the McDermott, and this is a mile and 3/8 on the turf, so it's a little bit of a marathon type of race. I absolutely love the 3 layabout. This horse just likes to run distances, and if you've watched this horse run before, I mean, this horse could just keep going and keep going and keep going. This is the kind of horse you want to have under if you're across the desert, like the America song, "A Horse with No Name." This is the horse you want because he's going to keep on trucking. So I've got him, but I also put in Grand Sonata with Gaffalione and Pletcher because he's a very similar horse and he's danced every dance. Grand Sonata, I mean, this horse has run every graded stakes you can imagine. Grade twos, grade one, Arlington Millions. He's done everything. He's run every dance, $2.5 million winner. Very classy horse. So in that race, I'm going 3-5. And then the 14th and final race at Gulfstream Park is the Fountain of Youth. It is the grade two Fountain of Youth. So this is obviously a prep race, and it's got some interesting horses in here. And I don't think any of these horses are that much better than the others. I mean, you can look at Napoleon Solo. This horse seems to be pretty good. It won its first two races, going from an 83 to a 95 Buyers, winning the Champagne in October. But I just think there's a lot of other horses here that got a shot. So I'm putting a lot of them in. I'm going to use the 1 Jackson Hole, Velasquez and Pletcher. I'm putting 4 Commandment, Brad Cox and Red Ortiz. That's another horse. That's a really good looking horse. The 5 Bravaro, Gaffleone and Safi Joseph, doing what Mike knows I love. It gets better every race. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's hope he gets better and wins this one. And I've got the 6 Chief Wallaby, Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado, because those two are those two. That's a 9-2 shot. I think he's a sneaky good horse there. And then I've got the 10 Solitude Dude. I put in the 7 Napoleon Solo, and then I've got the 10 Solitude Dude, Safi Joseph and Pratt. So all in all, my ticket is only $30 for all that talking.
Well, that's not bad.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
No.
$50 increment or 50-cent increment. So you can do it for $30. And if you want to put more horses in the races I spread, even you can do even more on that one. But I think you're going to get some fun in that Fountain of Youth. So I'm looking forward to that race. But that's what I got for everybody.
Just that Chief Wallaby horse, a friend of
Yeah.
mine, very good handicapper, put that horse on my radar just yesterday, actually. And I went back and I looked at it even just now. And, this horse is a Tappet from Constitution, Medaglia d'Oro mare, Landalusi. Like, these are some top end breeding horses. And I think that this horse wants to just run forever. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what we're going to see hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to bet this horse across the board for sure. Um, but yeah, no, I really think Chief Wallaby, after watching, the last two races in the replays, this horse should improve. So glad he's on your ticket.
Hey,
Yeah.
Chris, can I ask you a question about the 9th race at Santa Anita? In my pick 4, that was the pick 3 I gave out. I singled, but I did use Keegman in my pick 4. The reason being, Edwin Maldonado takes the call, and he looks like the only speed in the race on the
Yeah,
outside. What do you think?
on the pace factor there for me, I don't disagree with you. The only thing I think that we don't know what Nizea is going to do. I don't think that they're going to sit back there. I think that from the rail or I'm sorry, from the two hole that they're going to show a little bit more speed or be definitely more up into the race.
Okay.
And then even off your rocker, I think that horse from the gate has shown some speed as well in his last work. So
Mm,
just positioning wise with the turf, and then the rails are out 20 feet, which is going to play into, a lot of those front running speeds. And the jockeys know that. They know that they got to be up closer to that speed and have a little bit more of that forward momentum and not having to come so late, right? There's not a ton, unless you're coming down the hill, you're not really, and the gates are out, you're not really going to come off the pace unless they're really cooking up front. And I
okay.
don't disagree. I think that Edwin, obviously being, one of the best gate jockeys here, he's going to get out of the gate and go from the 10 hole, right? I think that makes a lot of sense there. But the 7 horse for me is kind of that horse that's going to sit off all that speed and is going to be up that close. And if we can catch that trip, that's kind of the saver horse for me. That's why I haven't picked third. But I don't disagree. My 3 horses there were 10, 4, 7.
Okay. All right. All
Yeah.
right.
There was one other horse in the 5th race that I wanted to briefly talk about. Um, I know that you gave out Mayakama, but I'm surprised this horse didn't make the list for anybody. But if he gets in, Just a Kiss, I think it's very fitting for the podcast. If this horse does draw in, he's getting the cut back to a mile today, and I love Ayuso. He's
Yeah.
riding really, really well on the turf. And Eddie Mathis is 25% off the layoff, and you can't argue with that, right? But if you look at the jockey trainer combo, they're 40%, and I think that
Oh,
just
wow.
speaks to a great statistic, but also that if we do get a scratch in there, if any of these horses and that horse
He's
draws
in.
in, oh,
He's
He's
in.
in.
oh, I
He's in,
saw him as
Chris.
an also eligible.
Yeah, they have Orange Thunder
The 12
scratch the
is.
6.
Orange Thunder's out.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. There you go. So
All
yeah, I
right.
think that's definitely a horse we would want to add on some tickets there just because he's gonna get a great trip on the outside, and Ayuso has ridden this horse twice already, and I just don't argue with the numbers at all. I think that this is just a numbers play for me, but as well,
Mm,
I love Sir Prancelot on the grass. I think that he's one of the best turf
Yeah,
sires that we've seen around in a long time.
I agree. I agree with
Mm.
that.
Love
Yeah,
it.
Sir Prancelot. Okay.
all right.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I think that kind of wraps up all the picks. How are Victor Racing Stables doing there, Chris?
Yeah, we were looking for a race to go into on Sunday. Unfortunately, they didn't use the race for American Glory, so he's going to go and take a workout on Saturday and see where we can point him next. And with whether they use the race, it was a starter allowance optional 50, non-winners at 3 mile on the turf. So whether the race didn't fill or they just chose to use it, hopefully they bring it back in the next book. But um, our other filly is back to the farm. We brought her back in, started to tack walk her and things like that, and just wanted to give her a little bit more time. So we're going to give her another 30 to 60 days, we think, and bring her back after that. She's still growing into her body, and she's had 2 starts, one, and finished second. Miss Kona is her name with Peter Urton. So just going to give her a little bit more time, let her grow into herself, and hopefully when we bring her back, she's just that much better and ready to go for us. But we're very much the wait and see and take our time. We don't ever really push any of our horses that we have, and we're always horse first. So, with American Glory, just unfortunate, unlucky with not getting the race put in there. But Leonard Powell doing phenomenal this year. Love watching all of his horses and sneaky statistic. I think he's still 50% in the money. He's just missing with a lot of his horses, and
Wow.
Yeah.
when you see stuff like that, you just got to stay close and watch the barns. And he'll not aggressively put them. He just puts them where they fit, and he's going to start turning those seconds and thirds into wins and stuff like that. So just another great turf trainer to kind of keep on your radar. But other than that, we'll see if we have anything coming up for Del Mar or if we start a claiming group. We'll see what we can find. But we love the claiming groups going into Del Mar just because you get to have some fun. And if you can catch some value, then you can place aggressively and kind of go after some wins.
Oh, that would be fun.
Love it. Yeah.
Keep us in the loop, Chris.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely we will.
And I know Charisse was smiling. She wants me to do my Leonard Powell impression, and I will
Yes,
not.
you will not. Okay. Well, Chris, do you remember Soy Fat?
Yes, absolutely.
Our friend owned that horse, and
Hmm.
Leo, we got to know Leo, and
Oh,
oh,
Yeah.
what a gentleman. And now his
Yeah.
daughter is his right hand in the
yeah.
barn, I hear.
Yeah.
That's
Matilda.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's
Matilda's
amazing.
awesome. The whole family's great, and
Yeah,
I know Leonard's one of those guys that you just I'm in awe just because of the way he runs his operations and how just meticulous he is with all of his horses. And you could ask
Yeah.
about any one of his horses, he's going to tell you exactly what what's going on and kind of the plan, and he's just always on top of it. And we love and appreciate all the work he does for us. So yeah.
that's awesome.
Amen. Amen.
Yep.
Good guy. Good guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for coming on, and cheers to Maddie May one more time. And
Cheers.
Woo-hoo! And she
glad
will be, I already promised her in the hospital when I was holding her that when she's about 6 or 7, we're going to go to an equestrian center and she's going to see if she has an inkling for horses like Cha-Cha and possibly
Hmm.
show hunters and jumpers.
Very cool.
And we'll see, but she will make an appearance at Vessel's Club at Los Al probably in about a year and a half or so, but
There
she
we
won't be
go.
betting. She won't be betting. I promised our daughter she won't be
Yeah.
betting.
let's keep her away
Yeah.
from the parimutuel clerks. Yes, please. Yeah. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks very much. And at a kiss for luck, we would like to say goodbye, everybody.
Mm.
Good luck tomorrow on the Pick
All
Six,
right.
everybody.
Good luck,
Yes.
everyone.
All right.